Well, I heard it again. By the way, welcome back. I was listening to, by chance, happened to pass by when somebody on a YouTube channel was watching something called Alive, and I think it's a live program. Anyway, they were talking, and they referred to salvation, and they quoted Matthew 24:13. But he that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. Well, that chapter, Matthew 24, let's consider that chapter for a little bit. Jesus had just prophesied at the beginning of that chapter. The disciples was telling how impressed they were with the building. After all, it was rebuilt by Herod the Great, and it was white marble, and it was shining white and had gold on it. And Jesus' prophecy came true in 70 AD. Titus came in there, the Romans did, and they were given strict instructions not to harm the building. But somehow or other, the building got caught on fire, and the fire was so intense that the gold melted. And so they pried the stones apart to get to the gold, fulfilling the prophecy of Jesus. But let's look about the context. Remember that lesson about context? Well, there you see where Jesus, it's asked three questions. They ask, tell us, when shall these things be? And what is the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? Three questions. Notice that these questions, not one of them deal with salvation, but a biblical field, a field of study in the Bible, what they call eschatology. Eschatology is the biblical study of things to come. The fact is, there's a wonderful book called Things to Come by Dwight J. Pentecost. And he was a professor at Dallas Theological Seminary, and they used that book as a text. I have read the book and given out 2 or 3 copies of them to preachers. But anyway, you see that Matthew 24 is the Lord's description of the Great Tribulation. Yet I hear people, just like I did the other day in Matthew 24, refer to that as salvation. Over and over again I hear it. I want to stress something. Salvation is not an endurance contest. It is Christ our Savior who has endured. Hebrews chapter 12 verse 2, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God. But notice the next verse. It talks about Jesus. It says, "First consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your mind." Yeah, we do endure things. Hebrews 12:4 says, "Ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin." We have to endure things once in a while. Jesus said, "Blessed are ye that are persecuted for righteousness' sake, and for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." He said, "Blessed are ye when men revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake." Yes, we're made fun of, we're mocked, we're belittled. We endure these things. But I want you to know that, Timothy says, Paul says, "Timothy, if we suffer, we shall also reign with him." So, we do suffer persecution and things like that. We do endure those things. But we do not endure for salvation. It was Christ who endured. When it comes to salvation, Matthew 11:28 is so true. Jesus said, my blessed Savior said, "Come unto me, all ye that are heavy, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." You see, do you remember the purpose of the Great Tribulation when he's talking about Matthew 24? You have in Genesis 32, he was returning back from Padan Aram, he and his family and children, and here came Esau with 400 men. And that night, he'd sent them all ahead. That night he wrestled, and Jacob wrestled with the angel. And when morning came, he said he wasn't going to let the angel go unless he blessed him. And then the angel said, "No longer will your name be called Jacob, but will be called Israel." You see, Jacob is his unsaved name. Israel is his saved name. Just like the Apostle Paul, Saul was his unsaved name. And Paul was his saved name. See, Israel's going to go into the tribulation. But the purpose of the tribulation is to judge the world of sin, but also to get the Israelites, the nation of Israel, to accept Jesus. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7 says, "Alas, that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." I just want you to know, folks, Christ endured it all for you, for your salvation. May you come to understand that blessed teaching. And until the next time, may God bless you.